Hello and welcome. My name is Ingrid Thorpe and I am a Director of Product Management and I work on Identity Manager. In this short video, I want to show you an important new capability in Identity Manager 10.0, Intelligent Threat Detection and Response Playbooks, or ITDR for short. Over the next few minutes, I will explain what ITDR is, why it matters more than ever right now, and walk you through a realistic scenario showing you how Identity Manager responds to identity threat automatically in seconds with a complete audit trail. Let's get started. First, what do we mean by ITDR? So, Intelligent Threat Detection and Response is a security discipline focused on protecting digital identities and the credentials behind them. Here's a simple way to think about it. For years, we've invested heavily in detecting threats on networks and endpoints. But today, attackers rarely break in, they log in. Stolen passwords, phish credentials, and abused service accounts, the identity itself has become the attack surface. ITDR helps close that gap. It has three parts. Protect your identities and credentials, detect threats against your identity infrastructure, and respond to contain and mitigate them. Identity Manager 10.0 focuses on delivering the response side of that equation, and this is what this video is all about. So why does this all matter now? So the numbers really tell this story. 45% of enterprise have unmanaged non-human identities running in production right now. Identities that often no one is governing. And this is not a small population. In the average enterprise, non-human identities already outnumber humans 10 to 1. Service accounts, API keys, workload identities, and increasingly AI agents. So when these non-human identities go wrong, privilege is almost always part of the problem. 78% of AI agents incidents involve excess privilege. Add it up, and cybercrime is projected to cost $1 trillion a year in 2030. And here's the part I really want you to take away. When a human account is compromised, often you can phone the person, you could email their manager, and you could start a response in human time. When a service account or AI agent is compromised, there's no one to call. It's acting with delegated permissions at machine speed, and the damage happens in seconds, not days. The only credible response is one that's automated, driven by policy, and fully auditable. And that's exactly what ITDR playbooks in Identity Manager are designed to do. Okay, so let's have a look at what's been delivered in 10.0. So customers can now define playbooks, predefined policy-driven responses to identity incidents. So several actions are included out of the box. So you can deactivate or suspend identities, marking the person as inactive or flagging them as involved in a security incident. You can control accounts in target systems, locking them or forcing a password change at the next login where the target system supports it. You can communicate automatically, notifying the accountable owner, their manager, and the target system owner. You can create governance and support items, opening a trouble ticket or launching an attestation case based on defined policy. And if you need to do something custom, you can extend the playbook with an approved PowerShell script. The point is the response is designed once, approved once, and then executed consistently every single time. Now, a really important to talk about is how this works in 10.0 because it really shapes how you should think about ITDR. So detection is already happening in your security stack, and the response happens in Identity Manager. So here's the flow. Step one, detect. Your SIEM, EDR, or ITDR analytics tool, something like Microsoft Sentinel, Defender, CrowdStrike, or Splunk, spots suspicious identity behavior. Step two, trigger. That tool calls Identity Manager, ITDR API endpoint, and identifies the affected identity or account. Step three, respond. Identity Manager matches the incident to a playbook and runs it automatically. Step four, prove. Every action is recorded with a full execution timeline and governance records. In 10.0, the supported trigger is the external API call, and that's deliberate. It means any detection tool in your environment that can make an API call can drive an identity response in Identity Manager. Your security stack detects and Identity Manager responds and proves it. All right, let's make this real with a scenario. Imagine an employee, and we'll call him Sam. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the company's monitoring tool, let's say Microsoft Sentinel, raises an alert on Sam's Active Directory account. Logins at unusual hours from an unusual location, followed by mass access of files Sam has never touched before. So these are classic signs of a compromised credential. In most organizations, this alert might sit in a queue until an analyst picks it up. But every minute that passes, the attacker moves further into the environment. Here, the detection rule does something different. It calls Identity Manager's ITDR API and identifies Sam's account. Identity Manager matches the incident to a playbook and triggers it automatically. Within seconds, the account is locked. Sam's identity is deactivated, his manager is notified, and an attestation case is opened so the right people can review his access before anything is restored. No human had to be awake. This happened automatically. Now, let me show you what this looks like in the product. Okay, so this is the playbook definition screen in Identity Manager. The screen defines what happens when an identity incident occurs. Few things to notice. The playbook has a name and a target object type, in this case, an Active Directory account. It has a severity, so you can match the strength of the response to the seriousness of the incident. And it has a set of enabled actions, which we will look at next. The key idea here is that the playbook is policy driven and identity aware. You're not writing scripts at 3 o'clock in the morning to deal with an incident. You're designing a response in advance calmly with governance built in. Here you can see the actions enabled in our sample playbook. In this case, inform the target system manager about the incident and lock the user account. These actions execute automatically the moment the playbook is triggered by that API call from your detection tooling. This is what automated containment looks like. The response is consistent every time because it is the policy that's responding, not whoever happens to be on shift or on call. And notice that no security incident ticket has to be raised before action starts. Containment happens first at machine speed and the process follows. This screen shows the playbook runs. I like this view because it proves that ITDR is not theoretical. Every row here is our real execution, a moment where detection in the security stack turned into an automatic identity response. And every execution is auditable. So think of this as your identity incident response history all in one place. Now, let's drill into a single run and look at the execution timeline. You can walk through exactly what happened step by step. So the playbook run was inserted through the API call. The playbook ran, the identity deactivated, target systems were locked and removed, the manager notified, delegation and access were ended. This is a forensic trail. When your auditor or your incident response team asks what happened, in what order, and when, this is the answer. Not a reconstruction from log fragments across 5 tools, one timeline in the system that owns the identity. And this is what makes Identity Manager's approach different from a pure security tool. So ITDR doesn't bypass governance. It automatically enforces it. Attestation cases are created as a part of the response. So access is formally reviewed before anyone is reinstated. Manager notifications are sent and recorded. Where the policy requires it, the identity deactivation is made permanent. So the response is not just about being fast, it's about being compliant, documented, and defensible. Okay, so let's bring it all together. So why does this matter for your business? ITDR playbooks reduce identity attack dwell time because containment starts at the moment a threat is detected, not just when an analyst gets a ticket. They enforce policy automatically, so the response is consistent and pre-approved. They provide audit-ready documentation out of the box. They let you scale identity response without adding yet another tool to your stack. And critically, they're ready for the machine identity era. The same playbook model that protects Sam's account can respond for a service account or for an AI agent, identities that have no human to call and no time to wait. ITDR turns identity governance from a system of record to an active security control. If you want to go deeper, the release notes for 10.0 explain how the external risk scores are used and the schema changes. Documentation shows exactly what was added to 10.0, including the tables behind the playbook engine and the REST API trigger. Both links are available on our slide or our support portal. So thank you for watching. If you would like to see an intelligent threat detection and response playbook live in your environment, or to talk about how they fit into your security operations, please reach out to your One Identity Customer Success Manager. And I'll see you in the next video.